And so I brought some of that with me just to know that I wanted to have more accountability for my kids because I had to deal with it outside of the realm of church. I put myself in that. So,
well, that's good to know because the parents that are techies like you, that's going to be really helpful. That might be something they can do right away, is go and set something up like that at home.
Yeah, that's really good.
And a lot of that you can get with also with the Fight the New Drug stuff, which is where you guys do, and also the XXX Church or the XXX Church has got a lot of stuff for that too.
Cool. We're going to take a brief break right now, and we'll get back with Joanne Pelcher, Unashamed by Grace. She'll finish up and share more with us. Stay tuned.
You're listening to ChristianLivingRadio.com, where you can hear such amazing ministries such as Blended Families Ministry, Unashamed by Grace, P31 Women, Pastor G, Unbreakable, Live at 5, Straight Talk, and many more to come. Also tune in to our music channel as well, 24-hour access. Be heard all over the world. Click on Get Involved or email us, info@ChristianLivingRadio.com.
And we're back. Thank you so much for listening to ChristianLivingRadio.com. We're here with Joanne Pelcher, Unashamed by Grace. She's going to continue talking about growing up in a digital age.
Thank you. And that's right. You know, when you said that growing up in a digital age, that's going to be the age for a while. Yeah. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. So we need to really get educated and informed.
It's going to get worse.
So before we left on break, Jeremy was talking about how the things he does in his home it doesn't cost anything. He put some passwords on some routers, and so he can monitor what websites his kids go to. There's also something else that parents can do for free. There's a website, it's a free download, but the website is called fightthenewdrug.org. And if they go to that website, up at the top, they can just search for what's called a Family Media Standard Form. And it's a PDF download that the parents can download and print out. And so what they can do is they sit down as a family and write up a plan to define what's okay and what's not okay to be seen in the home. And so, parents can feel free to add or take away any limitations on the forms. No one can say what's best for each family. That's up to you. But you can use this as a blueprint. And it's really effective is if it's used and made with your family rather than for your family.
Right.
So if you have the kids involved with it and getting their input, then they're more apt to, join in and really be a part of this. And it's just a simple 2-page form, but it talks about some of the things Jeremy mentioned, the internet devices that are in the home, cell phones, iPads, because even on like gaming devices, I know certain forms of pornography can be accessed on that, like Xbox,
PlayStation.
Yes, exactly.
And also each game has secret codes where you can actually make everything naked, or you can have different characters that are popular people that are naked or whatever. I mean, it's goofy how they got it integrated.
They show all that, how to unlock all that on YouTube, probably.
YouTube, any of the any of the gamer sites. Oh yeah, it's all there.
And so I know also on this form too, it talks about the location of the internet-enabled devices. So where you're going to keep these things, what areas of the house are going to be the area where the phones and the computers are looked at, and what's not going to be an accessible place. Like, and this is just an example, but maybe you don't want the cell phone in your child's room with their door closed. Maybe they can have it in there with the door open, or whatever the case may be, whatever you decide. And then time limitations are really important. There was a friend of mine on Facebook who posed that question to all of her Facebook friends. She said, I think she had an 8-year-old. He is on the computer from the time he gets home from school, basically until he goes to bed. Is that too much time?
Yes. The answer is that kid outside.
The answer is yes.
So time limitations are if you don't tell your child what the time, you're allowed for so long, they're going to more often than not, they're going to take
Yes.
more time than you would want them to. So
Yeah,
a
my
time
son
limitation.
has friends like that.
Does he?
Yeah, they stay inside. They're either gaming or on the computer, and we just do not allow that here. He's active. We've got him in sports and doing stuff. Even then, when he comes home and the homework's done, you don't get on that computer, unless you ask. But
Right.
you got chores.
Keep them busy as you can,
That's
right? Till
man.
bedtime, no.
You'd be tired out. You ain't got time to be doing stuff.
Even my kids got an hour a day. Even if most of that is actually their school time.
Yeah.
Because my wife does all homeschool stuff, so all of our homeschool stuff is on the computer. So even at that, they may have half hour at most a day, because half hour of that school.
Yeah.
And so they got a full hour to be on computer, and if they want to be on school time for that whole hour, that's up to them. But they usually end up cutting out pretty quick and getting it done so they can be on other stuff. But, yes, absolutely. And limitations. You got to do it.
And nowadays, most of their schoolwork,
Oh, no, that's
most of the schoolwork and their school programs are all internet-based.
Yes.
Even so, when he comes home, he has some papers, but he has to go on the internet, log into the school program just to get the completion of the program. So, the kids are there on a computer no matter what.
Well, like you were saying just now, being on the computer, having to do homework on the computer, Jeremy, your kids are homeschooled on the computer. You would think that our children would be sick of being on the computer, but that's not the case.
Nope.
Just like, you get too much of a good thing, right? But that's not always the case. So another thing on this family media standard form I wanted to bring up was there's a lot of different social media sites that parents may not be aware of. And I just wanted to kind of read all of these.
Okay.
So a lot of us are familiar with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. I guess that was another one. So Snapchat is a app that can be downloaded that sometimes the teenagers use to send pictures to each other. And with Snapchat, the pictures disappear. It's not, if they take a picture of themselves, it doesn't necessarily stay in their gallery. Like, when we take a picture on our cell phone, let's say, that stays there and we can access it at another time.
Right.
With Snapchat, those photos are gone within just a few seconds. So sometimes certain teenagers will use that to send naked pictures to one another. Then the picture's deleted, so there's no history for the parents to be checking on, and or for the kids to share the pictures with other children.
The kids know this.
Yes, they know that. Vine. Are you familiar with Vine? Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, where you can make videos.
Do it for the Vine.
And then YouTube we talked about. YouTube's been around for a long time, and that's actually where my son first saw pornography. He was with a child from church, and they were talking about, there was a tank game, and he said, "Oh, you need to go to this tank game." So my son went and looked at the tank game, and it was on YouTube, and he continued to scroll, and that's where he had stumbled upon pornography. But YouTube's been around for a long time. So has MySpace. That's a kind of an oldie, but that's something that can also be used inappropriately. All these sites can be used appropriately. It's just how they're used. So it's good for parents to know about these different social media accounts. Another one is called Stumble Upon. Flickr is typically used for photos. Google+, Skype, and the one I really wanted to mention was
Google Plus too.
Yeah, was Tumblr. No, not Tumblr. Tinder. Have you heard of Tinder?
I've never heard of that.
We'll have to talk about that one at another time, but very quickly, Tinder is just a hookup site, basically. Yeah. And, teens can have access to that. There's a lot of adults on there, but that's just another social media venue that is used for the wrong thing.
I'm taking notes.
Also, Tumblr, you talked about, you had said something about Tumblr will actually take, and Tumblr will actually erase. You don't have a history with that either. Mm-hmm. And so guys are taking that and using that to surf porn stuff, because porn stuff is all over Tumblr.
Yes.
And then guess what? There's no history.
Right.
Nobody can look at it.
There's also on Pinterest, I use that for recipes, right? You use that for recipes, right? That's where you go and you find out how to make meatloaf.
Right.
Well, you can also find porn on there. They will say, when you go to Pinterest, it'll say, we do not allow porn on this site, but you can still search for it and you will find it. There's different ways where companies have found how to go the back way and get behind some of the technology and get into these different social media avenues without actually, these companies saying, we don't allow porn, but there's a way for other companies to figure out the porn sites how to get in.
I've been friended by people on Facebook, and you go to check them out. I just don't friend everybody, but
that's a good idea.
Check it out, and it's full blown porn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to watch out for the one friend.
Yeah. One friend, one mutual friend.
The one mutual friend. Sometimes the one mutual friend is the one you need to pray for. It's the one that actually clicked on.
Yeah, I think Brian mentioned this the last time we were here, but on Instagram, I post pictures on there because a lot of our family lives in other states, so it's just nice for them to see our family pictures. Well, on Instagram, I even get requests sometimes, and I'm like, holy buckets, who is this person? Because they have no clothes on. And it's just that they, through some of my other friends that might be on there, have found my name. And, it's not even anybody that I know, but maybe somebody that I was following, there's just different ways for them to find it. So all the different sites, it's not that any of them are, bad, but they can be used for bad. And you just need to be educated on it.
Yeah.
So we talked about fightthenewdrug.org as a website for that Family Media Standard Form. And then Covenant Eyes that I mentioned before that we're ambassadors with, they also have, it's an internet usage agreement, and it's just a one-page little initial that parents can use too, because sometimes if you just have that in writing with your kids, like I said earlier, they're more on board, and they can actually see the different things that are written out. So if a parent maybe forgot, I really wanted to mention that, or that's really important to me, but maybe you just didn't think about it. It's all here in writing. So it's just a little form you can, put it up on the refrigerator, keep it in a place where they can see as a reminder.
Yeah.
Exactly. So these are only two of many forms out there. You can create your own, but just having something that you sit down as a family and create together will help educate the entire family and protect your whole family.
Cool. That's great. We've had a great show. Tell us one more time before we go, Joanne, your websites and Facebook pages and any way of contacting you guys, the church at Living Word Bible Church. Unashamed by Grace is doing so many great things. I want to make sure that people know how to get in touch with you.
Sure. Well, our Facebook page is Unashamed by Grace, and you can actually send us a private message through there. It's completely confidential, so you can contact us there. You can go to our website, which is unashamedbygrace.org, and send us an email through there. You can actually, like you mentioned, contact the church. On our Facebook page, Unashamed by Grace, it shows the address of the church with the phone number. So if you do call the church office, which is 480-964-4GOD, which is 4463. I know that by heart. If you call the church office, just say, I'm calling because I want to contact Joanne or Brian with Unashamed by Grace, and then they'll get in touch with us. And Living Word Bible Church in Mesa also has free marriage counseling as well. And you just call the church office if that's something you're in need of, and you don't have to be a member of the church to take advantage of either one of those.
There's some great stuff there. All right, folks, you're listening to ChristianLivingRadio.com. That was Joanne Pelcher. Growing up in a digital age, from their ministry, Unashamed by Grace. What a privilege it was today. Tune in next week for more Unashamed by Grace with Joanne and Brian Pelcher. God bless you and have a wonderful day.